morning. It is Friday the 16th, I think. 16th. Friday the 16th of December. I have a project I want to work on today. So rather than just doing yet another, good morning, here I am. I'm going to do this, I'm going to have a coffee, and then I'm going to work. I am working, but I have a specific project I want to do, so I thought I would take you with me. That's what we're going to do. First, we're going to find you a better place to sit, because this is not going to work. I need to get my little mini tripod out and put you somewhere more stable, because at the moment, well, I wish I could show you what you're precariously balanced on, but if I move you, it's all going to fall over and you won't see it. So you're going to have to just trust me on that. You are very precariously balanced right now. If I breathe, I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to shut the door as soon as the dogs come in. Oh my God, it's freezing today. Coffee, jigsaw, wake up somehow, get brain in some kind of order. Project. Then I'll start the yeah, see, I can't explain the project yet because I can barely say the word. So give me a minute and I will show you what I'm going to do. Okay. Coffee's starting to kick in. Words are a thing again. Well, words are always a thing, but they're not necessarily in the right order. Now I'm able to queue up full sentences. We're doing great. What I plan to do today, I'm in my kitchen at the moment, hence the lovely fire extinguisher. I call him Bert. Bert the fire extinguisher is overseeing a little project in my sewing corner today. This is my sewing corner. I've set it up. I think I showed previously, maybe. I'm not sure. If I haven't, I will. But I've set up my little corner in my kitchen because I've got a big kitchen, but I don't need a dining area. So this is my corner. I've got my table, my comfy sofa. I've got my art cart here. One of my art carts. I've got 3 of them. One of my art carts is full of my sewing machine sewing stuff, as opposed to my hand sewing stuff, which is in the other room. That weird slurping noise is Maddie having a drink. Can't do anything about that, sorry. She's a noisy drinker. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi there. How we doing? Good girl. Hi. You had some breakfast? You can't possibly want to go out again. She does. This is the 4th time in about an hour. Are you done? Huh? Are you done now? Oh, we've got a sticky eye. Hang on, let me clean that for you. Don't know eye bogies, do we? No, we don't. There we go. No, we don't. There. Oh, she's such a pretty girl. You need a clean bandana, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, pink one needs to go in the wash. It's got dinner on it. You're a good girl. Now can I sit and do what I want to do tonight? Please. Belly rub first. Belly rub first, okay. Right. Let's try this again. Oh, I'll leave Maddie on camera. And there's Maddie. She's cute. She's a cutie. Hi, baby. Scooby's here also. He's just down here under the table. I'm going to measure my sewing machine. I don't know where, I don't even remember where I got to telling you what I'm going to do. So, okay, I have this fabric. Now, this fabric is a quilt pattern. It's printed. And it's red. So I thought, ooh, I'll edge that and put it on my table in the kitchen. No, that lasted about 20 minutes before I said, no, this is not happening. I hate tablecloths. I don't know why I keep thinking I like tablecloths. I don't. And when I do get tablecloths that kind of work with something, I nearly always end up either I wipe them off the table, like catch them on something and pull them off the table, or Maddie does. In this case, it was me. I caught things on the table. Fortunately, there was nothing breakable. It was just a pile of laundry, but it all ended up on the floor, which is annoying. So no ixnay on the tablecloth. However, I think I can use this fabric to make a cover for my sewing machine, because with it being out here in the kitchen, I don't want it to get, like, everything in the kitchen tends to get kind of a greasy film on it. Obviously I don't want that. I also want to protect it from dust. It needs a cover. And I was gonna just buy one off Amazon for $5, and then I was like, hang on a minute, I've got a sewing machine, I've got fabric, it matches my kitchen because it's red. Why don't I just make one? Why don't I get the sewing practice in and just make one? And because this is, I think it's 1.5 meters square, I'm not sure. It might be only 1 meter, but it's definitely big enough. Like, this is 1/4 of it. So it's definitely big enough to make a cover for the sewing machine. And I think, the way I think I'm going to do it, I think I'm going to have enough left to make a small cover for my toaster. I've got some fire retardant lining material that I can use for the toaster insides. And I've got an old pillowcase here, which has seen better days. It's white, but it doesn't come up white anymore. You probably can't see it on camera, but it's stained. It's perfectly clean, but it's stained. Obviously, I don't use white pillowcases because why would I use white pillowcases? Everything I have is black or red. But my mum offloads her old sheets and pillowcases and things onto me because she knows I use the fabric. So this will make fine lining fabric for the inside of my sewing machine cover. Nobody's ever going to see it. It doesn't matter that it's a bit stained. It's perfectly clean. It just, you can't use it as outer fabric anymore, but it will be perfectly fine for a lining. So that is what I'm going to do today. The first thing I need to do is measure my sewing machine and figure out how I'm going to do this. I think I know. I think the usual way of doing it is making 2 panels and then a strip that goes up over the top. But I don't have enough fabric to do it that way. I do, but I don't have enough length of fabric to do it that way. So what I'm thinking is, if I lay it out and kind of cut a cross shape in the middle and then sew it down the side corners, I'll have 4 rectangles that I can then sew together to make a toaster cover. That's the thinking. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's what I'm thinking. First, I'm going to just get my sewing machine set up. It's just here. This is my little sewing cart. Here's my sewing machine. Ignore the junk behind it. That's all the stuff that needs to go in the cupboard. Yeah, let's get the sewing machine set up and measure it and figure out what we think is the best way of doing this that doesn't involve going on Google and looking for a pattern, because I don't follow instructions. I don't like following instructions. I'd rather make it up myself. I am not a leader. I'm not a follower. I am a wanderer. And I don't care if I'm doing it wrong or right or whatever. I just want to make stuff. Let's get measuring and planning. Okay, I've measured my machine. So I've got a side view and an end view. And I've added knobs on the drawings so that I know that there's bits sticking out, and that's why I've got to have minimum dimensions. So we've got width of 16.5, which I'm rounding up to 17, height minimum 14 inches, and width 7 inches minimum. So I've got 2 options. I can either make 2 panels and then the long piece across the middle, or I'm thinking I can do it in some kind of a cross shape. I need to figure out how that's going to work. So it would be a 17x7 panel in the middle, and then the end would fold down, so that would be 7x14. And then that would be 7x14. And then on the edges there would be 17x14 and 17x14. So it would look something like that. I need to double check my adding up because maths is not my strong point, but I think it would work something like that. So as long as I've got this total width and this total length in that piece of fabric, then I can cut out these 4 corners to use for the toaster, and then I can sew this down, so these two would sew down and these two would sew down, and I've got an instant cover. Let's see how it works. You're never going to believe this, right? I drew it out like this so I can cut it out in one piece. In order to do it like this, it needs to be 45 inches long and 35 inches wide. And guess what? Guess what? Barring 1/8 of an inch on the 45 inches length, this piece of fabric is exactly the right size to do it. Now I think that means that I'm not going to have enough to do a seam allowance, or if I have like 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, it might be a little bit snug, but I'm going to double check all my figures and see if I can tweak it a little bit, because it doesn't matter if it doesn't come all the way down to the table. So the height is fine. The width I've added a little bit extra to. The length I've added a little bit extra to. So I think I can do it if I just use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. How is this happening? I don't know. But this is exactly the right size that I need. It was meant to be. Rain has stopped play, or rather, bloody freezing has stopped play. Also, I just finished editing yesterday's vlog. I'm sorry for the extreme close-up. I used my other camera for a minute, and unfortunately, I didn't realise it was zoomed in. Apologies. I didn't get very far with my machine thing. It took me ages to actually measure it out and get it sorted and everything else, and then cut it, and I didn't really have enough table space, and then I had to go and iron it, and I had to wait for the iron to heat up, and there was just a whole thing. It is now at a stage where I can go to it tomorrow and hopefully start doing some sewing, so that's good. But it's so cold in my kitchen, it is crazy. I will show you what temperature we're on right now. I'm supposed to be going out tonight. I should be going and getting a bus. Round about now, actually. But I took a screenshot so I could cut out all the local information. Look at this. Do you see what that says? -7 degrees. Feels like -10. Feels like -10. I do not do -10. I try not to do -7. It's also going to snow, apparently. And if it snows on a Friday night after 9 o'clock, there is zero chance of getting a bus or a taxi home. I will be stuck. It's black ice. It's going to snow. My arthritis is already playing up. I'm too cold. I'm too cold. I can't do this. So I'm gutted because I really was looking forward to it. It's the same guy I went to see on Halloween, but he's doing the Christmas Carol, and I absolutely love his stuff. However, I did see the Christmas Carol last year, and I just don't want to go out in that weather. It's the kind of cold, because it's not just it's -10 and it's cold. It's -10. We don't normally get -10 weather. That's crazy for us. It's also windy and snowing, and it's icy, and there's patches of ice that have been around for a week, and I'm not very steady on my feet, and it's a Friday night, so it's very busy. It's just a lot. If I still had the car, I would probably go, because I'm not worried about driving in this kind of weather. I would be literally just walking from the car park across to the venue, but I am not standing around waiting for a bus in that weather, and I'm not risking getting stuck in the city centre late at night on a Friday, not being able to get home. So, unfortunately, I can't go. At least I have seen it before. Oh well, c'est la vie. We're going to sit. Here's Mr. Scooby is here. He's sitting in front of the fire. If you can hear a slight hissing noise, that's the fire going, because it's really cold. I've got my hoodie on, I've got socks on, I've got a long sleeve sweater under this, I've got the heating on, I've got the fire on. I am so cold. I'm just going to sit and have a snack. Then I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do a bit of sewing, warm my hands up a bit. I don't know. I might do a bit of sketching. Do we know what we're going to do? No, it's Friday night. I think I am going to watch Wednesday again, though. I started watching the first episode for the 4th time. I've already watched it start to finish 3 times. I really enjoy it. I did start watching the first episode the other day, and then I found Shadowhunters and I started watching that instead. I might watch Wednesday again, because I don't have to really think about what I'm doing. I wanted to write some stuff in my tarot journal, which I can't really show you at the moment because it's under stuff. Remind me to share that with you later on. Yeah, I'd quite like to do some stuff in my tarot journal, but I can't find my notes. And in order to do that, I will have to re-watch my own Patreon stream. I've got to stop rambling and just go and do something. Just do something. Do something, woman. Stop with the blathering on. Okay, here we go.